Welcome to episode 1 of this 6-part Netflix style video series where I'll be breaking down the exact system that my clients are using to build a $25K a month solo business the soulful way. In episode 1, I'm going to walk through the exact model in the exact order so you can use it too. So let's dive in. First, let's look at the model. Part 1, this is the exact model that my clients are installing to build a $25K a month solo business. If you are a coach, a consultant, or have an expertise that you monetize, you may have already noticed, but the playing field has completely changed and will continue to change rapidly from 2026 onward. It's not going to get slower. It's only going to go faster. You've probably noticed also the traditional tactics aren't working anymore or aren't working like they used to. And it may take 10x the amount of energy or 10x the amount of reps that it used to. DMing 100 strangers a day, just like Alec Hormozi taught us to do, not working the same. Getting a very different result with that now. Or posting hundreds of pieces of content just like Gary Vee told us to do. It's just not feasible without a big team or without a ton of automations or without a lot of infrastructure that has to drive this big machine. Not only that, now we've got AI. The information has never been more available than it is right now. There is not an information shortage. And as a result of this, we're moving away from the information era and shifting to the implementation era. Information is now the most commoditized resource available. It no longer sets us apart. So it is time to adapt or be left behind. And here's the truth, and this isn't new. Trust is at an all-time low. It's been at an all-time low for a few years now, meaning the trust level keeps getting lower when someone new comes into your world. So this is true, especially in coaching and consulting industry. People are more skeptical than ever. It takes longer for folks to decide to work with you, even if you are the master at your craft and you have hundreds of testimonials and ways to show people what you do. So if we don't address this, more and more are going to be closing up shop or never get their business off the ground in the first place. And that's what I would like to prevent, because there are so many with businesses that will absolutely change this world. So I'm going to show you there is another way. So here's the good news. The market's matured. It's more sophisticated than ever. This happens to every market. But what this means is people are going to consume more content. They're consuming more content than ever before they're going to even get to a buying decision. Daniel Priestley talked about this on the Diary of a CEO podcast. He shared the 7-11-4 rule. And what this means is people need to consume 7 hours of content from 11 touch points across 4 platforms. So done right, we can say goodbye to a calendar full of sales calls completely. And it's nice when you have a formula that you know works. That way we can make data out of it instead of judging by feelings. Plus, the industry is moving toward how you get clients' results over the result alone. So it's no longer just about the result. It's about, how do I get the result? Does the way feel good to me? Does it feel like I'm beating my head up against the wall or gouging my eyeballs out with dull pencils? So the way you get the result is going to trump the result alone. And so what this means is those who are truly experts and have a system that works are going to rise to the top versus the newest trendsetter or viral newbie. Big promises aren't going to fly anymore. And that is great for those who actually give a shit, because that means the people who get the result in a new way, in a good way, are going to rise to the top. People are investing less in getting a result at all costs and more into mentors who help them build a life by design or a business by design. Because at the end of the day, if your business isn't an extension of the life you truly want to live, that's based off of who you truly are, it's not going to last anyway. That is the name of the game. Build a business that's an extension of the life you wanted to live based on who you truly are. Period. Point blank. So if you don't know me, I'm Caroline, Dr. Caroline Carpenter. You can call me Caroline. And my journey started as a chiropractor. I did everything right for decades. School, certifications, the white coat, the keys to my own practice, then another practice because one wasn't enough. And revenue looked great. I did wonderful. I had 20K months. I had 25K months. I had a 33K month. My calendar was overflowing and everybody thought I'd made it. But here's the thing. My body didn't agree. It was not convinced. Between late night patient notes, all of the charting, it seemed like the more money I made and the more people I helped, the more work I had to take home with me, and the business slowly took over my life and I couldn't even enjoy it. The more results and the more money I made, the less I could enjoy my life. life, which just didn't jive long term. And I started to notice a pattern with all that late night charting and all those hours in front of patients. It was 20,000 hours. I counted it. So that 10,000 hour mastery rule, 2 of those. People would come in with pain in their bodies. But what I knew was what was keeping them stuck was living deeper. And it was usually one decision away. But I can't tell that to a patient because that's not what they're there for. But I knew it was living deep in their lives, embedded in their nervous system through unprocessed stress, identity patterns that they kept repeating. And all I could do was adjust the spine. I could not adjust a life that didn't feel unsafe within the system and framework I was working in. And if I'm honest, working in that model, my system didn't feel safe either. I felt like I was one fax machine beep away or one call away from having all of my records subpoenaed to a court or having to be audited by the men in the black suits with the guns. They really do show up like that. It's wild. But I felt like I was one beep or phone call away from my entire life being flipped upside down to prove everything I'd ever done because I keep patient records. So in essence, pain equals unsafe in the body. Your body and your business will never grow into pain. It just won't. So here's what you might not know. I was helping a lot of people. I had people coming from all over the United States. I had folks coming from that would come once a year from Jersey and bring their whole family in. And it was just really cool because they loved how I did what I did. But also I was pushing and proving and overriding the signals that my body was sending me. And the more that I did this, the more that I hustled to finally escape one day potentially, the louder the whispers became until they were screaming at me on the daily. And I knew this isn't the work my soul came here for. And if I'm honest with myself, I knew about 20 years ago, but I was told by someone who didn't know me that well that it wasn't possible. It was an advisor who was an authority figure. So I listened and I just took the path that was supposed to work. I did the scariest thing I'd ever done. I closed everything. I burned the identity down that everybody recognized so that I could find the one that my body trusted that had been inside me the whole time. That, if I'm honest, I wish I had operated from the whole time. But I also believe everything happens the way it's supposed to, and I have a lot of experience from it. So here's what I did. I went all in. I went all in on the deep internal work I'd been skirting around without knowing it because I was so busy all the time. I was so busy helping everyone else that I couldn't even see what was in front of me about what I truly enjoyed and what I didn't enjoy. I got into the nervous system regulation, even though my whole job was to regulate a nervous system through a chiropractic adjustment. And another thing, most of my patients, their body was chronically dysregulated from one life decision that could change it all. That and identity recalibration and the little almond-shaped guardian or bouncer in the brain that pulls the fire alarm when it senses risk, the amygdala. So I learned about this little thing in chiropractic school, but they didn't spend much time on it, which was kind of wild. And it's always on and it acts, but it acts differently than you think. Most people understand the fight or flight, the whole oh, I just can't, and like the big explosion or the big earth-shattering thing, it doesn't always act like that. What this little thing does is ensures that if there is no evidence from the past that it is safe to move forward or not painful to move forward, to grow, the amygdala will hijack the plan, even if it is simply putting a post out on the internet. That little thing can't tell the difference between an oncoming car and the idea of someone saying something unsavory about an opinion. It can't tell the difference. So this isn't mindset. This is survival response. And here's how this works and here's what happens. When I reframed everything I did, coaches started finding me, consultants started finding me, entrepreneurs started finding me. They weren't beginners. They've sold before. Some were already successful by the internet standards, but behind the scenes, they were tired. They were stuck in loops of overthinking, overfunctioning, undercharging, or disappearing when it was time to be seen, and they didn't know why. They had a genius they couldn't seem to package and an offer their body couldn't hold. And if you have that combination, your amygdala will stop you in your tracks, even when you know, I have to do this. It's a sneaky little thing and it's connected to every system in your body, and it will throw wild things at you to stop you. Here's what I did. I built a system. The problem wasn't getting clients. I knew that. And I also knew it was the body refusing to scale to 25K a month in a painful way. The body won't let you. It just won't let you. Your body and your business won't grow into pain. Or building a business that feels more like a trap, the kind of trap where the only escape route is burning the whole thing to the ground. Here's what I did. I created a new way to grow and scale any client-based business to 25K a month and beyond without sacrificing time with family, sitting on back-to-back sales calls, or sacrificing any part of yourself or your soul. I had that Scarlett O'Hara moment on the way back from an intensive with a group of people that thought completely different from me. And I said, I will never again extract from my soul to do anything in life. You know, that moment where Scarlett O'Hara is like, I will never be hungry again. I will never extract from my soul again. And so when this is optimized in 14 hours a week or less with zero team, no people to manage, no sales calls, no extracting from your soul, and it's fun or we ain't doing it, I call this the soulful way. So let me show you logistically what this looks like. So the old way that we were all told to do things, or the way I was told to do things, or the things that we were told works, 10 plus hours a day delivery or on sales calls, 3 plus hours a day in the DMs, posting generic info on social, the 5 tips for this, the 5 tips for that, how to do this, how to do that. Inconsistent leads coming in, you never know if it's gonna be feast or famine, only making offers 1-to-1 when you finally do get one that seems like a good fit, or a hard selling, which we all know feels gross and yucky and we're not doing it anymore because ugh. Here's the soulful way. Plenty of white space on the calendar. I mean, I used to have a calendar packed from the top to the bottom, and I used to think that looked awesome because it meant a lot of money, but also my body hated it at the end of the day, and that meant more work coming home for me. White space is the way. Sending one soulful email that truly comes from you, little bits of how you see the world or what you think about things or how your way is different versus how you used to do things. It's insight. It is a very identity-based, insight-driven who market, and this works. The insights that build trust, leads and buyers coming at you daily because they resonate with you at a values level, and it's resonance. It's people you would be friends with and spend your day off with. Making offers one-to-many in a group. Imagine a workshop where not only are you demonstrating how you work with clients because you're working with clients, but you're also inviting those who want to know how to work with you a way to work with you. 2 birds, 1 stone, easy, instead of trying to market over here and trying to deliver over here. It just makes sense to let people watch and experience. And then invitations that feel soulful. Look, an invitation is as easy as, hey, you want to go get coffee? If it's a, hey, that sounds great, but I can't, or no, cool, or yeah, let's go get some coffee. It's not complicated. Somehow, some way, someone complicated all this stuff, and it's not. This is just basic human relationships. Over the next 6 videos, I'm going to share this exact system that I help my clients install to survive the shift that we are in right now and come out on top. Zero overwhelm. I'm going to reveal each phase in order so that you can watch and then implement. No guessing, no trying to figure out what to do in what order. I've done it for you. There's no fluff, no random info for you to piece together like a little puzzle that you don't have the picture to figure out what the heck to do. Just follow these in order. And this is what I help my clients install inside the Soulful Circle in the correct order. And the Body First operating system is at the heart of everything, because if your business isn't based on who you truly are as a result of the life you want to live, it's not going to keep going. And it won't be fun. And it's gonna be fun or we ain't doing it. And it's gonna be simple. This was episode 1 of a 6-part Netflix style video series where I'm breaking down the exact system that my clients are using to build a 25K a month solo business the soulful way. And in the next episode, I'm gonna share the simple 3-step framework that you can use to implement my entire system. No overwhelm, no burnout, no feeling like an imposter. It's simple and fun or we ain't doing it. Click here to check out the next episode right now.